Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Sandman. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how I put handles on my covert instruments lockpicks. So let's get into it. So the covert instruments lockpicks are essentially a popsicle stick style handles. It's very common. This design has been around for at least 50 to 75 years. Old HPC tools, Brokage, Majestic, Lockmaster, not to be confused with Lockmasters. People always like to correct me on that. No, I mean Lockmaster, based out of Kentucky. I think they were actually just made by Brokage. But, you know, all these companies that have these spot welded or riveted handles, sometimes they can be a little uncomfortable for long periods of time. And so, you know, for the average lock sporter or locksmith or covert entry specialist that just needs them for emergencies or just wants to have it for a fun hobby, I think these are a really great option. And these are the #1 tools that I recommend to anybody getting into the sport. But anybody that starts picking locks for like 3 hours a day on a regular basis like I do, and some of my friends, they're in a lock sport community, I would really like to recommend an option where what I'm doing is I'm taking this marine grade adhesive lined shrink tubing that has a 3-to-1 ratio, and I'll provide a link in the description down below to Amazon where you could purchase these. And I have 4 layers of this on this. It's so amazing. It is so comfortable, so much more to grab, and it's kind of textury. It's like it's a smooth texture here, but it's kind of grippy. I really like that. Now, by doing something like this, I am kind of limiting my ability to be able to put these tools in my case here. It is a little bit thick, but you don't have to go as thick as me. This is just 1 layer right here, and it makes 0 change or difference in putting this into my favorite pick case, which is the Echelon. And I mean, I just have 0 issues here whatsoever, just having 1 layer here. Sometimes they rub against each other, but that's about it. So as I place this in here, there's just no issue here. I don't know what's going on in this particular instance. I'm having trouble just putting it in the case because I'm an idiot, not because I have marine grade shrink tubing on here. But I absolutely love this as an option, man. So I had no designs of making a video of doing this, but I ended up liking the end result so much that I was like, I should show people what I'm doing on my end. And here's my favorite picks. So I absolutely love the 20 thousandths rounded hook and the 20 thousandths flat hook here. And man, I'm just so glad that I did this. I'm so glad. And I was like, oh, I've got to show the rest of the world what I did. And I know that it's probably common for some people. I've been doing shrink tubing as well for over a decade on some of my tools. But the problem with this one is, unless you use glue, this kind of slips off and it gives you a little bit of texture to hold on to. But I just, for picking 3 to 5 hours a day, this is going to be my go-to from now on. So it's definitely going to be my bench lockpick set. If anything, I will probably ditch the pick case, and I have a few other of these as my backup. So I'll probably just put together a regular everyday carry case, and these will be my at-home use. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into how I'm doing that. So I think I have 1 or 2 tools here. Do I have any tools here I haven't already coated? Oh, that's weird. I thought I did. Okay, well, let's do it to this one. Let's go ahead and cut this guy off. Without stabbing my hand. To do this, I am going to be using a heat gun. I'm not going to be using a lighter. So that way I can get a good even shrinkage. So I can get a good even handle on here. And then also I'm going to be turning my fan on, because when I use my heat gun and I'm activating this adhesive, it does create a little bit of smoke, and I don't want the my smoke alarm to go off. Essentially, I'm just going to try to measure up to about that rivet, or yeah, not the rivet, excuse me, the spot weld right there. I can go right here, but I'm going to do multiple layers on this guy. So I'm going to come just to there. So that way the second layer, I'm a little bit further, and the third layer, I'm a little bit further. And what that does is it creates a nice little ramp here instead of just some big, hunk of mass. I get a nice little ramp, and I can actually pinch it when it cools off with my finger. So let's see here. It's not exact science. It's just arts and crafts with lockpicks. Arts and crafts with Sandman. Go a little bit shorter. I can build up that ramp. There we go. All right, I got to turn on my fan. It's gonna get a little loud. Now, it doesn't seem to get hot where I'm holding on the actual pick itself, but it is very hot on the end. So I would be very careful if you have to. I actually started out just holding it like this, but I don't think it's necessary for me. I did used to be a welder though, so I can handle heat a little bit better than some people. One thing I also like to do is I don't want to take my fingers and start mashing the air bubbles out of there, because I'm just going to leave fingerprints. So I'm going to place this like that. I'm going to take another tool and then use the flat part of that tool to try to push out some of the air bubbles. And you'll see that there's an air bubble right into the middle here, and I'm just pushing that out. And I had no intentions of showing this, but I was like, this turned out really well. I've got to show this. Because I really like these tools. I love using them. But I wanted to see if I can build up on that handle a little bit. And I think this turned out really great. Some air bubbles you're just not going to be able to get out. And that's fine. I don't care. If I do just even touch this, it's not too hot, but I am going to leave a fingerprint there, and it kind of like gives it like a milky texture. Maybe that's something you want to go for. I like being able to see the covert instrument symbol. I think that's cool. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this cool off a little bit before I put on another one, because it kind of gets a little sticky trying to get the other tube on there. But I am going to build these up a few layers on these rakes, I think. I don't know. Do I really need those on the rakes though? I kind of like... I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Yeah, let's just make a big hunkin' set. That would be cool. This will be like my competition set. That's what this will be. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, this would be something I would take to a lockpicking competition for sure. That's the one I just did. These I've already done. I did these last night. You only really need to wait like 5 minutes in between applying layers. I mean, that's the thing though. You can decide, you're like, you know what? I like the way this feels as is. I don't need to apply another layer. But I had like a test one. I had this one. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep putting on layers, and if I like it, I'll add the other layer to my favorite one, which is the rounded hook and 20 thou. This is my favorite. So this was the test one. So every time I would put on a new layer, I was like, oh, I liked it even better. So I really, really like these. Man, I'm so glad I can't say I figured this out, because I've been doing this and they were slipping on the handle. I was doing a picking video. I think it was like my Packlock 90A. And someone's like, hey, you should try the adhesive marine grade ones. I think it was White. The gentleman that told me, his name's White. And so I was like, huh, maybe I should look into those, because I definitely don't want to have to just apply a bunch of glue to get these things to stick. And this ended up being really awesome. So glad I found this. I can't say I figured it out, because I didn't figure out anything. Is it weird watching a grown man do arts and crafts at his kitchen table? Is that unusual? I don't know. I kind of feel like that was me watching Bosnian Bill for 10 years. All right, let me turn that fan on, blow some of that possible smoke away. Yeah, so this sucker's pretty hot. Again, I want to push out some of those air bubbles, if I can. I can usually get out most of the air bubbles this way. I'm also kind of ensuring that I'm making contact against the inner sleeve here. I don't really care about those air bubbles. I think it'd be cool to put stuff in here. I don't know, like I could get some like I get some like confetti or like some arts and crafts beads or something and like put them in here. Like, I'm not against that. That'd be cool. Make it look like, it'd be cool if I made it look like an 80s retro kind of thing. I don't care. Dare I say glitter? Sandman's glitter lockpick set, custom handmade, $100. That's super cool, man. I really, really like that. And this is a really great thickness, but I'm going to keep going. We're going to go crazy. Let's go back to that first one we're working on. All right, that's already nice and cool. Yeah, it just takes 5 minutes. Let's get another layer on this guy. Arts and crafts with your old Uncle Sandman. Let's do this. Fan wouldn't turn off. Used to be back in the day. Well, first off, I should note that some companies have like foam handles. I just don't like them. And it used to be back in the day, there was a urban myth that you had feedback that would go through the handle. and that you needed to have contact with the handle, and if you put rubber or foam on the handle that you would lose the feedback. And there is some truth to that. I mean, feedback does transmit through the handle, but really now we know that feedback is really just felt with the finger bracing right here. So this particular fashion right there. So that middle finger is really where a lot of the feedback's being felt. There is feedback that is being transmitted here and here and here, but it's really right here where we're feeling it. And we're also feeling it in our tensioning finger. So what you don't want is you don't want rubber on your tensioning finger. You definitely need or foam on the tensors. You definitely want to be able to go finger on metal contact. So someone could say, well, Sandman, why don't you put foam handles on these? These are actually really, I don't want to say hard, I'll say solid. They're solid and textured, and they're very grippy. And I just feel like any feedback will still transmit through these, and I'll still be able to feel it. So I can actually start to pinch this now a little bit to try to get it to form a little bit of a slope there. Let's see, where are we at? I'm gonna do all these. Making the Covert Instruments competition set. This is probably what I'll be taking to locksport meetups. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this really does a great job with pushing out these bubbles. Not all of them, but quite a bit. I'm sure if I poked a hole in the middle, or if I had poked holes throughout the handle, maybe that would relieve some of the bubbles, but I'm not worried about it. I don't really care how they look. I want them to be functional. I have a feeling that over time, I think, and that's another way that you can slope this, is I just use this tool here. Like that. Yeah, that looks good. I think over time, my fingerprints and the oils from my fingers are just going to, muck it up, make it milky looking, which is fine. I don't care about that. So essentially I have my Echelon set and my Genesis set, because I really like the rakes from the Genesis set because they're 25 thou thick. And then I like the picks from the Echelon set. So I'm doing all of my tools essentially. Man, I wish I had done this like freaking months ago. And I'm not cutting a bunch of these because I'm trying to make every single one that I make is a little bit longer than the previous one, because I want it to layer in length as well. So that way I get a sloping motion. I don't want it to be too short I don't want the next piece to be shorter than the previous piece. I want it to be longer. Longer. I sounded angry there. You know, and they have different colors. I think they have red, and I think they have black. And I was like, maybe I should use different colors. And I was like, let's go for this clear. I've never used it before. I'm really glad I did. I like that I can see the thickness, and I like that I can see the covert instrument symbol. I think that's cool. Arts and crafts with Sandman. Man, so glad I started doing this. Whew. Wow, I got a ways to go. A long ways to go. And I have to express to you guys that this thing is hot, so just be careful. And I'm using a silicone mat here, so that way I'm not burning my tabletop. You know, last night when I was doing this, I did have a window open, so ventilation is definitely important. I don't see any reason to necessarily wear eye protection, but I will say that I am wearing glasses for seeing. So, you know, I don't foresee any reason to wear eye protection in this, but, you know, just because old Uncle Sandman is doing it doesn't mean you should do it the way I'm doing it. Maybe there's a safer way of doing things. ways to go still. So you really have to let these cool off before you can start getting into the thicker layers. So I think this is now going to be layer number 3. And I only really struggle to get these on when I'm on layer number 4. But if these are still warm, you're really going to have a hard time. For some reason, this one, some heat got to this one. I think I must have had it in the background. Oh, shoot. Don't make this mistake. All of these are starting to pre-shrink because I had them too close to the heat in the background. Wow, was that happening the entire time? Good thing I have 20 feet of this. Wow. Okay, don't make that mistake, folks. Don't do it. Man, it's like spreading. It's still warm. I gotta cut it loose. That's crazy. I'm an idiot. But you guys knew that. So only that's bad. I feel like I'm cutting an umbilical cord. Trying to just salvage what I can before it's ruined. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I bet somebody was watching the entire time. I'm Sandman. You better watch out. Sorry about that, my phone stopped recording. I'm glad I kept recording because I'm glad that I caught that. Oh man, I caught that last minute because all of this is pretty much not wasted. I mean, some of this can still be used, but this is wasted. I can't use that, at least for this particular project. Yeah, this is still good. I can use that. Oh, too far. There we go. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. I think that's 2 or 3 layers, maybe 3. This may be my 4th layer. I don't know. I'm reminded of the movie, the 40-year-old virgin, where he's like painting the miniatures, and he's like, "I'm now painting your pants blue." Oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Can't tell if this was 4 or 3 layers. I think it was maybe 3. Maybe 3. Don't know. Nobody knows. I'm gonna try doing it without the fan on. If one of you gets hurt during the making of this project and you're like, oh, I'm gonna sue Sandman. He's got a lot of tools. He must have a lot of money. No, joke's on you. I have no money because I spend it all on tools. Where I lack in skill, I gain in credit card debt. I'm not rich, I'm irresponsible. Joke's on you. All right, we're getting closer. Who's still watching? What are you doing with your life? Go hang out with your kids. Take your wife on a date. Go do something. Stop watching my videos. Is that bad? Is that bad to tell people to stop watching your videos? No, I'm just saying. Don't be a loser like me. This is what it's a Saturday, by the way. This is what I do on Saturday mornings. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Chinese New Year is being celebrated in Austin, Texas today. I may go to that. Also a Valentine's thing, shindig, dance at my church. May go to that. Haven't decided. Guess I didn't need the fan that whole time after all. I needed it yesterday when I was doing it. I don't know what's going on. My smoke alarm went off. There was chaos. The dog was screaming. I was screaming, not the dog. The dog was barking. I was screaming. I was barking and the dog was screaming. There we go. Someone is gonna say, Sandman, I made it to the end. I watched the whole thing. And I'm gonna be like, wow, I'm sorry, bro. Hopefully you were doing this alongside me. I like to think that the reason why I'm making such a long video is I'm showing the entire process from start to finish, and hopefully you're doing it alongside with me. I like the way these look. They look like they're acrylic or something. They look like those clear acrylic handles I've seen some makers make. Let's do something fun. Let's just see what happens. Oh. Oh. I want to get on there. It's stuck on there. I just wanted to see how small it got. Pretty crazy small. That's very small. Don't touch that, it's hot. Okay. This is one of the ones that already kind of shrank a bit. And now I'm making your pants blue. Hanging out with Sandman on Saturday morning. I think the reason why I talk to myself in a third person is not because I'm narcissistic. I think it's because I'm self-deprecating. Meaning, I used to get a lot of trolls in my comments when I first started out. People like, "Hey, Sandman," and then they would just have like a wall of text of just weird shit that were, just thoughts that were in their head, that they just were just puking out for the whole world to see. And I think that's where it comes from. I don't actually like to talk about myself in the third person. It's coming from the trolls. Oh man, I need to buy a troll. I want to buy like a troll that's like my bridge troll. So every time I make that voice, I can hold out my troll with the, the troll hair, the troll dolls. If you were born in the 2000s, you probably have no idea what the freak I'm talking about. All right, last layer for everything. The last layer, the final countdown. find one that's not hot. These are all still kind of warm. It's the final countdown. I'm probably going to get demonetized for singing the final countdown. Oh, I don't know if I can get these on. I'm fine with just 3 layers. I honestly am. I just don't think I can get that on. I think these things shrank overnight. I think I had them in the background of my videos and they pre-shrank a little bit. I had them in the background of where I was using the heat gun because I'm an idiot. And they all kind of like shrank just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I think I can get it up to like here and then it's just going to stop. At least I got my favorite picks, my 2 favorite single pin picks with 4 layers. That's all I cared about. Yeah, this thing shrank. I feel like it's shrinking right now because of the heat. We'll see. Oh, hey, we got it. Hello. Hi-oh. Maybe it's because it's the 20 thou. Maybe the 20 thou are a little bit thinner. I don't know about that, but I'm just throwing out random noises. There we go. Hey, that worked out well. This is layer number 4. We're getting there. We're getting places. We're doing things. That guy's done. That right there. Only a bunch more to go. I did not need to record this whole process, but I did. Yeah, this thing shrank. It is shrink tubing, so, you know. But I had it in the background. I had it in the back area while I was using the heat gun, and it all kind of shrank on me. Shrinkage happens, my friends. It's perfectly normal. Why on earth did it take me 40 minutes to get to that joke? Shrinkage happens. It's also really cold outside. Yeah, it took me almost to the end of the video to make that joke. Surprised myself even. So I've been in the martial arts for 25 years. I've trained in over 30 different styles of martial arts. I used to be an amateur fighter for the Marine Corps. Marine Corps had a mixed martial arts team, and I was on the team full-time. Temporary assigned duty orders for 159 days. My job in the Marine Corps for 6 months was to be an amateur MMA fighter, and we trained 6 to 8 hours a day. That being said, I've been in martial arts my whole life, and martial arts are very expensive. I'm always a forever student, and I always want to learn new stuff, but at the same time, my friends, they always say that you need to keep your cup empty, and you need to be always willing to learn, and at the end of the day, no. Sometimes you need to just take a step back and master the few things that you think will work and that you're good at, and just call it a day. There's nothing wrong with not always being a student. Sometimes it's more important to just focus on the things that you know will work, and that's what makes people successful, people champions, and mastering the things. I'd rather master 5 things than fucking know 10,000 things that I do terribly. That being said, I'm stepping away from training for the next year, I think, because I'd rather put that money into traveling. I want to travel so I can collect tools and locks. I want to see the locks of the world. I don't want to just buy them from eBay. I want to go to the country and walk through the neighborhoods and walk through the city and look at the locks that they use, and then go to a locksmith shop and, based off of my assessment, buy those locks. That's what I want to do with my money, instead of for another 20 years spending my money on more martial arts. At the end of the day, my friends, if you want self-defense, carry a gun. People say, but Sandman, what if you don't have a gun? Then you lost the fight. Sometimes you just lose. Marines don't go into battle without guns. So, do I really need another 25 years of martial arts? I don't think I do. I'm 40 years old. I'll either win the fight or I'll lose the fight. I don't really care at this point. It's my age showing. Now, it's not a big deal because this is just a rake, but you see here where it's just real chunky right there. That's why I want it to go past it. I want it to go past every layer. I want it to get closer and closer to the pick shank, because otherwise it's just this big glob, and I don't want that. But this is no big deal because it's just a rake, and I'm not too worried about it. But if this was on my single pin picks, I would have been like, this looks like crap. One of these days, I'm going to start telling Sandman stories, because I got some stories. Not all of them are fun or happy, but I got a lot of stories, man. I fought in 2 foreign wars, was a bouncer for 10 years. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should not tell these stories at all. That would be a bad idea. I got some funny ones, though. I got a couple funny ones I could throw in there from time to time. I'll tell you a funny story after this. That's what I'll do. Maybe that's what I'll do. For those that stick around for my 3-hour-long videos of arts and crafts with Sandman on Saturday mornings, I'll tell you a war story. Maybe that's what I'll do. Nah, I don't want to do that. I'll tell you a funny war story. Stories that take place in war, not necessarily war stories. Funny things. Not a lot of funny things. I can only think of two. When you spend a couple years in combat like that. All right, this one's too small. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, they all shrink on me. I'm gonna shrink too. I think we're running out of tubing here, folks. I think that's what's happening. Let's see if we can get this one. There you go. There we go. It's all about the angle of your dangle, folks. Remember that. It's all in the hips. Go. Almost done. The final two. I don't even know if I can get these on them because they're kind of shrank, but we'll try. I'm really surprised this is going on. I'm surprised. Like, how is this still going on? Like, but it is. All right, well, it's about as good as it's going to get. Yes, I realize if I had gone from this side, maybe I'd have a little bit more overlap here, but I think it's harder to get it on that way when I try that. Oh, well, it looks great either way. I still like it. It's all about the functionality anyways, not about the looks. It just happens to also look great. All right, we're down to the last one, folks. For those of you that stuck with me this far, I am not telling you a war story. I'm not going to do that on my channel. It's not happening. I love that I don't talk about it at all on here. And I separate everything. It's the worst idea ever to do. Because then you get some other veteran in the comments. Most of them have half of what the experience of what I went through. And they're like, but Sandman, that's not what it was like when I was there. And I'm just like, you're a poser. Go away. Now, there's lots of guys that did more than me. I just don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear people's opinions on my war stories. That might work. Okay, here we go. I was a nobody, folks. I was just a pogue. But 3 combat deployments to 2 foreign war zones. I'm over it. I don't want to talk about any of that bullshit with anybody. You want to hear a war story? Go fight no war. Saturday Confessions with Sandman. Saturday morning war stories with Sandman. We're not doing that. That's funny. Hey, and we're done. Sorry you guys had to listen to this shit. You know what's weird? Is I'm really just sitting here talking and laughing to myself. Am I really talking and laughing with any of you? It's kind of a one-way conversation. It's a one-way street. These are great. I really am so glad that I did this. I'm just going, you know what? A lot of people have suggested, but Sandman, I've been doing that for years. No, stop. Everybody, I'll do something on my YouTube channel and someone's like, I've been doing that since 1975, Sandman. No, you haven't. Stop it. Just stop. Everybody's got to be the first. I'm not the first to do this. I think I've seen it on other people's YouTube channels, and I was like, what the fuck is that on their thing? And but then someone told me, oh, you got to use this type of shrink tubing. I never would have considered layering it like this. And it looks so cool that you can still see the covert instrument symbol. That is super cool. I love this. This is now my favorite set of lockpicks, I think. No shit. I really like this. I like the way these came out. That looks super cool. They're not going to fit in my echelon case, but that's fine. This is my competition set. When I go to competitions, I don't go to competitions. I'm full of shit. No, but when I go to locksport meetups, this will be what I take. Because I like the 4 rakes. They're all different, believe it or not. The sinusoidal. They are different, right? Okay, that one. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah, they're different. I'll be taking those two for sure. I like using the thicker rakes because I don't want them to bend on me while I'm raking. And the top of the keyway is going to be, you know, between 20 and 30 thou minimum anyways. Let's see here. So this is 20 thou. I like that one. I don't know if I'll use this that much because it's essentially this one, right? Isn't this essentially this? No, it's different. Still. These are really great for TSA locks. Anything with just 2 or 3 pins. I don't know if anything has 2 pins, but 3 pins, those are really great. But I'm gonna put that aside. Putting together my Locksport meetup group set. I think that'll be it, just like that. I really like these 20 thou. I don't even know if I need to put these in my case. These 25 thou, they're really good though. Maybe as a backup. The thing is, the 301 high yield, so they're very strong. I mean, they're the strongest lockpicks in the world, essentially. Just don't see me abusing these ever because I use them so much. I mean, there's just no deformity to them whatsoever. I don't know. I have these as a backup. I'm at least going to be taking these for sure. Faux show. I can't wait for them to come out with 15 thou. I need a 15 thou, sir. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. Let me know in the comments down below. Did you make it to the end? Did your family leave you? Do your wife and your kids look at you from the other side of the room and ask, what is this man doing? Why is he watching this guy just talk to himself for an hour on end? What has happened to our father? You know what's funny is I know that it's a dude watching this because there's no women in this hobby. It's a sausage fest in my DMs. I'm not complaining, just saying, I'm just observing, just noticing that there are no women in this hobby at all whatsoever. A lot of dudes. So I know that you're a dude, and I know that you probably have a family, and they're looking at you disparagingly, and they're like, Dad, we want you back. Please come back to us. Get away from the Sandman. He's bad for your health. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm sure I've been canceled by this point and nobody watches my stuff anymore because I said something risque. I don't know. Man, I really like these. I really, really like these. I love these. I can't wait for more profiles to come out so I can do crazy stuff with those too. Oh, did I miss something? Yeah, I mean, I got some other stuff I could do. I just don't know how much I'm really going to use these. I really don't really care for going after... If I was going to like DEF CON or lockpicking competition, I would take this. I just don't plan on using this two and this two. I would take these for sure. I'll save that for the future ones. I think I'm done for the day. I'm kind of tired and burned out. Maybe I'll knock these out tonight. That's what I'll do. I'm not going to make a video though. I'm not going to waste your time with that. You know what? I'm just going to pull out a book and just start reading aloud and see who sticks around. That's what I'm going to do. No, I gotta go. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you've made it to the end, you probably just fast forwarded just to see what funny quips Sandman says. But if you did make it through this video, I'm sorry that you suffer from mental health issues with me, alongside me, because there is something mentally wrong with you if you made it this long. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Mr. Sandman, bring us